Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're taking a trip deep into the dappled forests of Rajasthan, India, to track a truly magnificent Bengal tiger family. We're going to uncover how they're physically built to survive, dive into their pretty dramatic history of near collapse, and then look at the incredibly inspiring blueprint for their recovery. So, if you're fascinated by how nature bounces back against all odds, you are definitely in the right place. Imagine just stepping right into the tall grasses of Ranthambore National Park. The atmosphere here is tense, but it's incredibly vibrant. Every step seems completely effortless, and honestly, every single shadow could be hiding a striped giant. This environment plays a massive role in their daily lives, setting the perfect stage for one of the most highly adapted predators on the entire planet. Let's dive into our first area, the striped giant, built for stealth and power. To really get why these guys rule this landscape, we've got to talk about their sheer scale. A single adult Bengal tiger can stretch over 3 meters from nose to tail and weigh up to a staggering 230 kilograms. Just let that sink in for a second. That is 230 kilograms of pure, unadulterated muscle and power, packed into a frame stretching over 10 feet long. It's kind of hard to even wrap your head around that level of strength until you think about it, out there in the wild. But here is where it gets crazy. There's this profound contrast between their colossal size and their ghostly ability to move in total silence. You've got this massive, heavy frame, right? Yet they are absolutely 100% stealthy. These literal giants can walk right through dry brush and crunchy grass without making a single sound. It's a total biological contradiction. How does something that heavy manage to be so quiet? It just perfectly highlights how they're built for uncompromising power, but paired with this delicate ninja-like grace. And their stealth isn't just about how they move, it's about how they look, too. Their iconic stripes help them blend absolutely perfectly into a landscape where visibility is a double-edged sword. It makes it a total nightmare for prey to spot them. In those tall grasses and the dappled sunlight of the forest, those bold orange and black patterns act as the ultimate camouflage. It's basically a visual magic trick. What looks so striking and bright to us in a zoo or a photo completely dissolves into the shadows and the foliage in the wild, hiding a 230-kilogram giant right in plain sight. That brings us to the next chapter, a century of decline and a sudden macro shock. Now, despite having all these perfect evolutionary adaptations, these predators faced a massive macro-level threat they just couldn't camouflage against. Believe it or not, just a century ago, an estimated 100,000 wild tigers roamed the planet. But fast forward to the early 21st century, and that huge number had been dramatically reduced to just a tiny fraction of what it once was. It is a staggering drop. We're talking about a catastrophic loss of one of the world's most iconic species in what is basically the blink of an eye, historically speaking. But it's not all tragedy. Moving to our final point, reclaiming the wild, and the triumphant return we're seeing in specific regions. The really cool thing is that this recovery in places like Ranthambore is definitely not an accident. It relies heavily on a three-pronged, highly coordinated approach. We're talking about establishing protected corridors so they can move safely, enforcing strict anti-poaching efforts to eliminate direct human threats, and crucially, this is a big one, fostering greater human tolerance right at the forest's edge. It literally takes a whole ecosystem of effort. You have to protect the land, enforce the laws, and build real coexistence between border communities and the tigers themselves. Ranthambore actually leads by example here, and honestly, there is a deep historical irony to the whole thing. See, this area was once a highly prized hunting ground for royalty, where tigers were actively hunted for sport. But modern Ranthambore has completely flipped the script. Today, it's this globally recognized sanctuary, which really just proves that both natural environments and human attitudes can fundamentally change for the better. Transforming from a royal shooting block into a strictly protected reserve gave the population a chance to stabilize and actually grow. It's a huge testament to nature's resilience when we just give it a fighting chance. So as we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with this final, kind of provocative thought. Can our growing human tolerance at the forest's edge actually be the ultimate key to wildlife survival? We know for a fact that the physical prowess of the tiger just isn't enough on its own anymore. Their future depends so heavily on our psychology, our patience, and our willingness to just share space. Thanks so much for joining me today. And hey, keep exploring the amazing stories our natural world has to offer.